Ear protection is one of the most important parts of our kit, but many people never take the time to actually think about what they're buying and will either use the worst possible orange foam earplugs they can get their hands on, or they'll have a $1,000 pair of Peltor Comtacs without really even knowing why they bought them other than seeing their favorite gun influencer use them. So, today we're going to talk about one of my favorite options for reliable and functional ear protection without breaking the bank. These are the Surefire Sonic Defenders. This particular pair is the EP4 model, and to understand what that means, I've made this spreadsheet. There are 10 total models of the Sonic Defenders, but the differences really aren't that large between them. Pretty much all of them that are still sold, with the exception of the EP3, EP7, and EP10, have triple flanged plugs, and the rest of the differences are generally in cap style between being removable like on the EP4s that I have here, or full block which can't be opened at all. As I understand from the marketing material released by Surefire, the EP7, EP9, and EP10 were all purpose-built for industrial and pharmaceutical work where you may be working around very large machinery on a consistent basis. We can see on the spreadsheet that the ones marketed towards industrial and pharmaceutical work offer the highest yields of protection when it comes to the NRR, which stands for Noise Reduction Rating. I know it doesn't look like much when it comes to the decibel rating differences in these variants, but trust me when I say that decibels are an exponential growth number, basically meaning that each single step up is actually multiplying the intensity. It's probably not exactly how it works, but close enough to explain the difference between 130 and 140 being enough to matter a whole hell of a lot. Let's take a look at a quick dB rating chart to get some real-world examples. For the most part, the hard cutoff across the board is 130 decibels. Anything higher and you're risking permanent damage. Now, of course, many of us, including myself, have probably been a little bit too close to the stage at a show, or maybe forgot to put on your ear probe before firing a first shot. Also been there, and that's okay. Shit happens. You probably did some slight amount of damage to your overall hearing, but the important part's not being exposed to too loud of a noise or being exposed to one of the potential danger levels for too long. Alright, that's enough technical talk for these. Now let's talk comfort. I have at least 3 pairs of these earplugs floating around between my house and my car. I'll usually grab these before grabbing my Sortons, mostly because they're very conveniently carried in your pocket with the case that's included in the package, but also because they offer a pretty substantial level of decibel reduction while being comfortable to wear over a few hours. I've used these for shooting at outdoor ranges, even with SBRs, and in a pinch when working around machinery or loud vehicles, though they're probably not the best for indoor ranges if you're shooting a high caliber gun or an SBR. I've only really tested these with my handguns and my 12.5-inch 5.56 indoors, but they get the job done. Not really too keen on trying that with my shotgun though. Personally, I'd recommend going with something that completely covers your ears if you're shooting SBRs or high calibers, because even with the full block style plugs, it only helps so much when everything's reverberating off the walls and ceiling. I don't know enough about the way acoustics work to really get into the details on the reasoning, but just know that traumatic brain injuries are a fuck, and I've seen stuff online mentioning the chance of them increasing when shooting really loud guns indoors without proper ear pro. That's pretty much all I've got for you today. For 10 to 20 bucks, no matter which variant you decide on, they're a very convenient solution for handling ear pro in your kit. You can stash them in a pouch on a battle belt or a plate carrier, keep them in your car or your range bag. Anywhere you can fit AirPods, you can probably fit these. And one of the major upsides of the price is that you can buy several pairs for a relatively affordable price to hand off to family members or your buddies. So if I've got to break this down to a score, I'm gonna have to rate these not hearing that fucking tinnitus ring out of 10.